Hello and welcome to another episode of the Plus 63 HP podcast. I'm one of your hosts, John Clemente. Alongside with me is one of my bestest best friends, Arnie. How are you doing?
Hello there. Let's get on to this Last of Us 2 episode extravaganza.
There we go. As Arnie has mentioned, this is our reviews episode, where on Mondays and Tuesdays we do a deep dive, provide our opinion and rating on either a movie or a TV series, and then hopefully and get some ammo whether you're going to watch it by yourself with your friends or with family. This week, this particular episode, we will be discussing the latest batch of episodes of The Last of Us. Again, usually Last of Us is a week on week series, but because we're recording this during Super Bowl week and Last of Us
Superb.
comes on a
Oh, yeah.
Sunday, they moved episode 5 a few days early on a
Mhm.
Friday, so we were able to watch it early as well and
Yep.
review it um, the next day. So
That- That's a good
um,
audible by HBO.
smart
Smart
planning,
Omaha.
right? Right, super great. I'm sure they're going to be successful anyway,
Yeah,
and everybody can concentrate on the Super Bowl. Um,
exactly.
yeah, but with that, don't forget that we need your support in order to grow this channel. So if you can, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell on our video on demand channel, youtube.com/plus63hp. You can also interact with us in all of our socials, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Our handle is at plus63hp. And if you don't want to watch us, if you don't want to see our handsome faces, you just want to listen to us in the background, we are on all of the major podcasting apps that you can find. We particularly like Apple, Spotify, and Amazon. Just search at plus63hp and we will be there. I'm extremely excited about these next two episodes. Arnie is extremely excited about these next two episodes, but we understand you might not have seen it yet. So we're going to do a quick 45-second non-spoiler review of what we thought about episodes 4 and 5 of The Last of Us. We're going to give you a chance to go watch it and then come back and discuss it with us. So, non-spoiler review, Arnie, what do you think about episodes 4 and 5?
I mean, coming from a really good episode 3, it's a hard, basically, it's a high bar to follow. And I think 4 and 5 matched or then a little bit surpassed what episode 3 was trying to do. Um, Hopefully, this one is less divisive than episode 3. I think so, but we'll see. Um, but yeah, I love the episode, and man, all the feels. And I will spend the next, what, 8 days recovering from episode 5. Let's put it that way.
Uh, you're absolutely right. It's kind of like every episode there is this major beat, major moment that happens, and in this particular batch of episode there were as well.
Hmm.
I We were talking prior to recording, and I totally forgot what had happened to Henry and Sam during the game. Like I had
Hmm.
no idea that that was gonna happen. Like, well, or I started remembering what was gonna
Yeah.
happen, but I didn't know
Yeah.
what was gonna go next. So
And as a reminder, I haven't played the game, so I
exactly.
was just coming in fresh and ooh,
Yeah,
yeah.
so I do love the idea that, even the timing of the Super Bowl was quite perfect because
Mhm. Kansas
episode
City.
yeah, okay, I didn't even realize that Kansas City. Um, but I also didn't realize that like episode 4 didn't have as backbreaking of an event, right?
Hmm.
So if you just watch episode 4, it's like, oh, a little break a
Hmm.
little break from what had happened, but I realized that episode 4 was like this amazing setup
Hmm.
for episodes 4 and 5. Like,
Hmm.
we get to see a little bit more of other QZs. So we get to see
Hmm.
other groups, other factions, other leaderships. What
Hmm.
happens in these things for the past 20 years? What happens to the victims, the zombies, the clickers, the runners, right? Like, what happens to them? It's not the same everywhere. So
Hmm.
this is a good setup for the entire thing. And then, of course, episode 5 was kind of like, we'll discuss it a little bit further, but simplistically, Henry and Sam, Joel and Ellie, exact mirrors. They're
Mm-hmm.
just trying to protect their family slash cargo. They're just
Mm-hmm.
trying to get outside. That's all they're wanting to do, and the things that they had to do
Mm-hmm.
to go through, to do, to pay to do that is what it is. And I love that every episode. Again, we're going through this very consistent theme. Every episode, we show what love will make you do. Right,
Mm-hmm.
all versions of it. And not all
Mm-hmm.
of it is good. Not all of it is bad. Not all of it is clear. But this is one of those where when I saw it last night, I was like, okay, going to sleep. I don't want to think about this anymore. I don't want to feel the feels. But
Yeah.
that's our non-spoiler review. Obviously, you have to watch the series if you haven't. Just really do yourself a favor. Sign up for
Yeah.
that trial. Watch the show. It's extremely worth it.
Yeah.
That Arnie, take it away.
Well, I'm gonna do a really quick synopsis because I would never do it justice. So basically, episode 4 and 5 bleeds into together. That basically after leaving Bill and Frank's, Joel and Ellie, they're driving. There's some road trip music with Hank Williams. They slept in the woods. Basically, just more world building. That you can't really sleep anywhere you want. Gas are pretty much degraded, so they have to keep siphoning gas from other cars. And then, which I think it's like I saw some YouTubers saying, "Oh, they compared it to the game. It's basically the dialogue is the same and the frame by frame is the same. The pun jokes and you know the uh, the the adult magazine that Ellie found in the car. And then of course they arrived, and in the show it's Kansas City, and I heard in the game it's Pittsburgh, but basically it's the same events. So there's a roadblock, and Joel made a critical error in just driving through the city, only to find out that the QZ is no longer controlled by Fedra, and there's this group of humans who are just trying to get them for some reason. So they end up crashing. So all the gear and the truck that they were working hard to get and Bill gave, it's gone. There was a skirmish. Joel was able to take down the shooters outside, but he was almost taken down by another person in the back. And that's when Ellie finally revealed to Joel that she had a gun and she shot this guy and paralyzed him. And of course, that's the when I almost said Mando, when when Joel said go back to the wall, and Ellie just turned around and left the guy, and I was like, that's it, that the guy is dead. But it was very it's also heart wrenching because like he was calling for his mom when he was about to be killed and all that. So, but still,
Yeah, not a lot of shows will humanize enemies like that, right? So
exactly,
it
and
was it was deliberately placed that
yeah,
it was a
and the thing
kid
is,
calling for his mommy. I was like, fuck.
yeah, and considering recent events, we had a real life event that the victim was calling out for his mom too when he was being beaten up. Whew, that was rough, right? But anyway, so after that, so they know they have to abandon the truck. They had to go into hiding. And meanwhile, this group of people are hunting them, and which is led by Kathleen, and the actress is Melanie. I can't say the last name, but basically, she's one of those you will never consider her as a leader of like a hardcore resistance group, but I think she pulled it off. Um, and of course, she was really obsessed with capturing this guy called Henry, ignoring some signs that their city is in trouble because she's just really obsessed with capturing this guy named Henry. And then, of course, Joel, we do find out that Ellie noticed that he is hard of hearing on his right ear. And of course, they just bond more. They found an apartment and they were trying to hide, but they were actually surprised by Henry and this little kid. So that episode ends, which goes to episode 5, basically as a standoff. So Henry was able to basically make a deal that okay, let's not kill each other, but let's just talk. And Ellie and Sam, the little kid, bonded immediately. And of course, Joel and Henry are trying to see if they could trust each other. And of course, in the episode, we also found out because from Henry's point of view, what happened in episode 4. So he figured that if Joel could take down these uh, people that they were looking for them, maybe Joel could help them out of the city. So it was like an uneasy alliance. And then we also get like, so their plan was to get through the tunnels, and they were able to find a tunnel right by the bank. And we do see some remnants of what people tried to do for safety. It was also sad, because I think it was a school. It looked like a school or a daycare. And then of course Sam and Ellie were just bonding as kids, so this alliance was kind of working. Uh, but we also get a backstory from Kathleen on why she's really obsessed with capturing this Henry guy, because her brother was captured and killed because of this guy. Okay, hold on. Yeah. Speaking of Henry, my Henry is here.
I was gonna say you also have your own
Yeah,
Henry.
yeah. So basically, so they were being hunted down, and then of course their plan initially worked until they got pinned by a sniper with a bad aim right
Very,
outside,
very bad aim.
like out in the outskirts. They thought it was just like a random dude, but of course it's a watch guy for Kathleen's group. And of course Kathleen just sends out the entire army for this one guy. It was like, for me, like, that's a little bit of overkill, but okay. And of course they got pinned down, and Henry was trying to uh, surrender himself, but of course Kathleen's not gonna have it. They're just gonna kill everybody. And then of course the threat that I talked about in episode 4 showed up. And aside from clickers and what's the basic one, did they call it Walker 2 or something like that, or Shamblers or something?
Shamblers, the runners,
Runners,
shamblers,
yeah,
clickers, and then the bloat.
clickers. And then the bloater came up and was like really badass. And I haven't played the game, so I know that this probably is like a boss battle basically.
Kinda, yeah, it was introduced in different ports, but like
Yeah,
the bloaters are intended to be a little bit of like more tanky and
yeah,
throws
yeah.
fungus bombs.
But the bloater basically killed Kathleen's second in command, Perry. Killed a lot of the army that they had. Basically, the infected basic overrun the army. And of course, Ellie tried to escape. She was being chased by this kid clicker, which was
Yeah.
scary.
Super
I call it,
the acrobatics
yeah,
inside the so
I
good.
called her the Megan clicker.
Oh, I
Uh,
actually just saw Megan too, but yes, it is.
yeah,
Okay.
and of course when but Joel was, because he killed the sniper, he took over the sniper rifle, so he was able to assist and lead Ellie out of trouble. But of course, during this time, Ellie was about to escape, but the infected were trying to, or, they basically pinned down Sam and Henry. So Ellie took her knife and saved them. And just about they were to get away, Kathleen blocked them and like, hey, I still need to kill you guys, which I have comments on that about that. But okay, but yeah, like I said, the Megan clicker ended up killing Kathleen, and they finally escaped. Now, the heart-wrenching part of this episode is that once Joel and Henry started trusting each other, because they've been in battle together. Like, okay, tomorrow's a new day. We'll tell Sam in the morning. That's when Sam revealed that he got bit, and Ellie trying to save him out of desperate
Woo.
attempt. And I already knew it's not gonna work because, well, just because of what I do for work, but it didn't work. And of course, she promised that she'll stay up for him. She didn't, and he became an infected. And Henry had to do the unthinkable. And of course, when he realized what he just did, and he couldn't take it, so he did, he ended up killing himself, and then episode ends with Joel and Ellie burying them, and basically, yeah, I think they got closer together, but of course, it just shows that, yeah, it's a tough after all that effort. The brothers still ended up dead, and yeah, and that's how the episode ended, with me in tears.
Yeah, it was a big portion of the episode 5 was showing how people like survived
Hmm.
through the pandemic, right?
Hmm.
The epidemic, right? They
Hmm.
build communities. So first of all, like uh Henry and Sam was in an attic for 11 days. They
Hmm.
decorated, Sam was drawing his favorite superhero,
Hmm.
reading comics, etc., etc. While trying to escape Kansas City, they went through a sewer system, and the sewer system became kind of like a community for people.
Hmm.
There's some Easter eggs there for the people that played the game about Julian and Isaiah, stuff like that. But the idea of it is like, there was a school there, there was like a
Hmm.
makeshift playground, so people did thrive there at some point.
Hmm.
So and then putting Ellie and Sam there in a way that they were able to just be kids for a
Yep.
little bit
Hmm.
was, what you're setting it up, or they're setting
Yeah.
it up, or it's like, oh, you are wearing me down with the jabs, right?
Hmm.
Making me, lower my defenses. And then, oh, what had happened in the end was, quite
Hmm.
tragic, because like, as mentioned towards earlier of the episode, they're just mirrors.
Hmm.
They're just trying to survive. Like,
Yeah.
there was a conversation there about when Henry and Joel were talking. It's like, it's actually easier being a kid, because we always think that, oh, it's so difficult for these kids to go through all of this hardship. But in the end, it's
Mm.
like it's easier for these kids because
Yeah.
no one needs to rely on them, right?
Yeah.
They just need to survive. And then
Yeah.
for them, the grown-ups, they're the ones that needs to endure and survive and
Hmm.
protect these kids and keep going. So um we see that, not only, because Ellie and Sam was like fast friends towards the end of the episode. um Joel and Henry too were like, hey, I'm going to Wyoming, I'm going by foot. But it's kind of good to have, Sam have a person and Ellie have a friend, right?
Hmm.
So they were kind of like, all right, we're all going to Wyoming. I knew at that point, like, you're not going to Wyoming.
Yeah.
I just forgot what happened.
Yeah.
um but yeah, going through that particular mirror where this could have been Ellie and Joel themselves,
Hmm.
where one or both of them would have been infected, and
Hmm.
Ellie couldn't. But uh Sam being infected, and then the narrative of it worked because Ellie knew she can't get infected.
Hmm.
So it was fine for her to take this chance of
Hmm.
letting Sam just be himself. I was hoping that Sam would have changed himself, etc., etc. But I like this dramatic bursting out into the living room, attacking
Hmm.
Ellie, Henry not knowing what to do.
And he just reacted. Yeah.
He just reacted, but also like we forgot how the line of Sam too is like, if you turn into a monster, is it still you inside? So
Hmm.
we are all wondering the same question, and I don't
Hmm.
think anybody has the real answer.
Yeah.
Um, but Henry, like, part of it was like he didn't want anybody else to hurt his brother, but part of it also was he didn't want his brother to hurt anybody else. So he
Hmm.
was the one who put Sam down,
Hmm.
much like Bill, like when
Hmm.
you lose your purpose,
Hmm.
right? Imagine this, like an entire army died because Henry didn't want to die,
Hmm.
right? And but you know, he immediately, like, in a second, in a quick second, without Sam, was like, nope, it's not it for him.
Hmm.
Uh and yeah, and then this happening in front of Joel and Ellie,
Hmm.
they're both kind of like you know, they're bonding in so many ways at this
Hmm.
point now. The trauma that they have shared was like so intense that
Yep.
um it's one of those things where, yeah, the more that I think, I'm definitely not gonna watch this episode again because it's just like it's too difficult. But the more that
Yeah.
I think about it, like it's just like different, like just different things that you can think about. Like um why didn't Sam tell anybody sooner, right? Or but he was a kid.
Yeah.
Why did Henry have to kill himself? Who could have, like, he went through so much. There's so many things in the end, but it will
Yeah.
never be, you know, we'll never be able to absolutely capture it in a way that we will
Yeah.
totally understand. But in the end, what has happened is like you can immediately see um uh this is when Ellie starts realizing that of the power that she has, because
Hmm.
the last message that she gave to Sam was "I'm sorry." It was not like "it was nice meeting you" or "I love you" or anything. It's like it's "I'm sorry." Like
Hmm.
she wasn't able to help him right now. She wasn't. So we're
Hmm.
really seeing now, like, oh shit, I know
Yeah.
she knows her though. She really wants to help these people now. So
Yeah.
she is much more like, she was like, "Hey, are we going? Let's go. Which way is west?" Like this is where, like, all right, this this is like, all right, we're on episode 5 of 9 episodes. Now it starts getting to ramp up. We have
Yep.
4 more episodes
Yep.
left, so I'm very excited.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I think too is like going back to Kathleen. It just shows you that um, trying to win something, like because they won against Fedra. It was kind of like a, yeah, as Bill said, they're all Nazis now. It's different from governing. So she won the rebellion, but she had this white whale, the whole Captain Ahab thing, right? That basically blinded her to what, because now that Kansas City is probably dead because the entire army is gone. So the people in the city probably will be overrun by the infected as well, right? Now, whereas if she had objective thinking, like, okay, Perry showed me this, the infected are probably coming back up. They could have just prepared for that first, because Henry, I mean, he's not really a real threat. He's just a collaborator, and she knew why he collaborated. So it's not because of something for money or something like that. It's for the kid, right? So, but in the end, her chasing her white whale ended up killing her, right? So it's just a lot of uh, things to think to talk about or think of about this 2 episodes, and yeah, it's just, and especially coming from a pandemic that we had and all these people that uh, wanted to take over, and yeah, that's you know, it's I guess it's probably inspired by that too. But yeah, I mean, this 2 episodes, like I said, it's good that we don't have an episode until next Sunday.
Yes, to recover.
So we have to recover because my goodness, that last scene, as soon as Sam showed his leg, I was like, oh no. And like, mm, yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
we can think of, we can think about all the themes overall, like Kathleen's motivations and why he's doing this
mm,
to Henry and Sam. Is Henry really a good guy for what
mm-hmm,
he did? He was a collaborator. He's like,
mm-hmm,
he said it himself, like, he wasn't Fedra. He was worse. He's a
mm-hmm,
collaborator. He was the one who was like, ratting out all of these rebellious leaders. So
mm-hmm,
is that good? Is that bad? Right? You can argue either which way. It's like Fedra might be bad, but also being a collaborator would be extremely bad.
mm-hmm,
So, all of these things are just so many different themes that you can think about. Like, and
mm-hmm,
the good thing about this world and the way that it's written and showed, it's like, there's no clear cut answer here, right? Everybody's just trying to survive, which we know, but at least they are putting forth all of those ideas to think about. Like,
yeah.
Joel's a
Context.
smuggler,
Mm-hmm,
killed a lot of people just to survive. And then you
mm-hmm,
can't just use that You can't just use like I needed to survive. Like
Hmm.
at some point needs to be a little bit more than just surviving,
Yep.
right? Enduring and surviving, right? So
Yeah.
like I think this is when we start seeing like you know doing good is different from each person. Like
Hmm.
Kathleen said that his brother, who was the one that was executed because of Henry's information,
Hmm.
wanted Kathleen to forgive Henry, but she
Hmm.
couldn't,
Yep.
right? And then even at the end, when when Henry, um, when Henry surrendered, he just like
Hmm.
just let my brother go. So like I can't. Your
Hmm.
brother's gonna come back and take a vengeance for you, right? So like that's kind of like those people.
Yeah.
It's like all right, it's a higher level of thinking where they're like, hey, I understand why you did it. It's super justified.
Yeah.
But do you understand why I have to kill you too and your
Yeah.
little brother? Right? It's like nobody I love that it's being presented in a
Yeah.
way where, you know, again, it really depends on, what perspective you're looking at things now.
Yeah.
And you can understand all of these things. And it's much,
Well.
much more complicated in the end. So I think it's just preparing us that this season again is or this type of television is like you know, all of these hero endings, all these
Hmm.
fairy tale endings of
Hmm.
like, that's not what real life goes. Real life is
Nope.
like
Yeah.
love, like rationality doesn't make you do stupid things. Love does. So is
Hmm.
love good? Is love bad? So
Yeah.
it's like
Well,
we'll figure it
from
out.
from a certain point of view, just like what Obi-Wan said, from a certain point of view, you're right or you're wrong, you're a good guy or a bad guy. It's just a matter of points of view, right?
Exactly, exactly.
So,
So with that, what are your final thoughts and rating for episodes 4 and 5 for The Last of
I
Us?
mean, I think what episode three we gave a 10.
Yeah,
As a collective, this 4 and 5, I'll give it a 10 too, because it just really hit us hard, like a ton of brakes, like a bloater. It is a hard,
um,
yeah,
again, this show cannot miss. It is a 10 for me too.
yeah,
I thought like it's good again. If it were just episode 4, I might have given it a 9,
yeah,
right? Because like not a lot happened in episode 4.
yeah,
Well, it's a lot of killing and
mm-hmm,
a new city, etc., etc. I do like the idea that that's why we don't go into cities. We only
mm-hmm,
go through the highways because cities are weird. Right?
mm-hmm,
I like that idea. But because it's episode 4 and 5, oh my god, set up and punch in 1 week,
mm-hmm,
gotta
mm-hmm.
give it a 10. Um, we've seen the trailers for next week's
Yep,
episode, so
that's
it's going
Tommy
to be like Tommy's finally going to be there. There's going to be a lot of
drama.
um and then a lot more people, so a totally different dynamic of what we're happening. So we're gonna learn a lot more of this. So 8 days instead of our normal 7.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
it's gonna be fine. Final thoughts and goodbyes.
Well, final thoughts. It's an amazing addition that they made Sam deaf and actually used a deaf kid. Uh, and then in the behind the scenes too, they also showed practical effects for the infected invasion, and of course Megan Clicker
Megan Picker the best. Yeah.
is just whoa, yeah. But anyway, yeah, it's a really well made show. Um, I mean, my goodness, yeah. Game of Thrones has a competition now in HBO's funding, basically.
Yeah. And the good thing about it is like there's only 2 games. So maybe
Hmm.
this one is 1 season, season 2 maybe is 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Gonna
I
be
mean, yeah, it depends. Maybe there's a upcoming Last of Us 3. Well, I haven't played the games, like I said,
yeah.
so I don't know if episode
I
if
was thinking about it, but it's one of those like they're not gonna do it if it's half-assed. So
yeah,
um, but
yeah.
yeah, I again amazing show. If you I know we've just mentioned that um if you can take Prime Video, watch Vox Machina. But again, if you don't have HBO Max, super worthwhile reason of getting it
Hmm.
just to watch this show. And there's
Hmm.
other shows as well, but again, these are one of those things where it's totally worth subscribing to a particular streaming service just for that particular show. We cannot wait for episode 6. Oh my god, we're nearing the end. Just
Mhm.
4 more.
Last what, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 4 more episodes? Yeah.
1 month of episodes. This is going to be a wild. I cannot wait for how the public will react to the last few episodes. So it's going to be great. But
Hmm.
yeah, with that, in the next couple of weeks, we'll be discussing. Of course, we're going to continue our week-on-week discussion of The Last of Us. But since we have finished Vox Machina season 2, we're going to pepper in or going to bring back our movie reviews. On deck
Hmm.
would be The Glass Onion, right?
Hmm.
Ryan Johnson's murder mystery thriller, but also The Menu,
Hmm.
amazing satire for this fine dining establishments and these like egotistic chefs. I've seen both of them. I enjoyed both of them, so I can't
Hmm.
wait to discuss it with my bros. Arnie, final goodbye.
Well, rip it and rip it.
Thank you for watching. Again, don't forget to subscribe to youtube.com/plus 63HP. Hit that like button, hit that notification bell so you know when our videos are dropping. If you don't want to watch us, you can listen to us in your podcasting app of choice. We particularly like Apple, Spotify, and Amazon podcasts. So we are definitely there. Just search plus 63HP. But you can also interact with us through our socials. We are in Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter with the handle at plus 63HP. With that, on behalf of Arnie, our other brother Chubax, who's not in this episode this week, we'll see him back next week. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Bye. Endure and survive.
Endure and survive.